Hey everybody, I wanted to share a little bit more of my little Johnny project with you. Got this cylinder pulled out here. Got a hose leaking off this cylinder that runs up into this armpit right here. I've taken this step cover off and I've broken these two joints apart right here. Cut that milk jug open like that to catch some juice. I'm hoping it'll quit draining out of those lines. I thought it might drain the whole tank, but it looks like it's just going to be what's in the lines. These lines run through this battery compartment under that seat over there. Some more joints under there, those lines going towards the hydraulic tank. A couple other things I thought I'd share with you I've done. It was hard to crank, especially when it was cold, and I went through the battery main wires and cleaned up the ground. That made a big difference. That one connection there, cleaned up the battery terminals, and I always just pull this battery terminal off when I'm not using it. I've put new intake filters in this cover. Bought those filters from Napa. The part numbers were actually on the filter, so that was easy to figure out. I forget what I paid, maybe less than $100 for the two, maybe a year ago. On the other side, on the starter wire, there's the Y limb I cut to hold this up while I'm working on it. But on the starter wire, on the other side, I had a loose connection on it, and got it cleaned up right here, and that made a big difference. It cranks up, it spins over real easy now. Here's the oil filter. Here's where you check the oil. Here's where you put the oil in it. Alternator. I was tightening up the alternator a while back, and there was a lot of dirt or something up here, and anyway, I thought this bolt was just threaded into here, but that's actually a nut. It was just kind of covered up at the time. So when I pulled this bolt out, the nut fell down somewhere. So I had to get another nut for that, but seems to still be in pretty good shape. Here's some fuel filters. I'll be doing those eventually. I've not done those yet. In the hydraulic tank over here, hydraulic fluid level, it looks good. Inside this tank, how you like that John Deere riding lawnmower seat on a piece of plywood? Get this slid over right quick. The hydraulic tank, it has a filter in it. I had a leak right here. It was bubbling out around this joint right here, and I think I figured out what that does. When the hydraulic fluid goes through the filter, which is attached inside the tank to this piece, I took these bolts out and pulled this up. If that filter is dirty and prevents the hydraulic fluid from passing through it freely, it puts pressure on this piston, and it pushes this piston up through this peephole, and it lets you know that the hydraulic fluid is actually bypassing the filter. So as long as it flows through the filter, this stays down. But if it is clogged, it pushes this up, and you keep an eye on it, you know, from above. But it was leaking fluid right here, you know, just bubbling out of that. So I got that fixed. I was happy to figure that out. There's that big pin on that last video I was describing, the one with the ear on it that holds the cylinder over there on the other side. I've got the gauges on the dash. The tach works, the oil pressure works, the temperature works. I think the hour meter and the amp meter needs some attention. I've got to look into that. I'm not real sure what to do. Here's the pin I was just showing you on this side. That's that same pin. You take this bolt out and you just pry this whole pin. That's the whole pin right there that holds that cylinder on the side. Well, I hope this video helps y'all some. If y'all got any advice for me, I could use some. Sure is a beautiful day out here in Green Pond, South Carolina. We got some wild hogs moving in. I've been walking the dog and I've been seeing all the tore up fields and roadsides from wild hogs. I might have to get into hog hunting. Alright. Maybe I'll see y'all on the water.